Live, this is Good Morning Texas.
Good morning, Texas. Happy Wednesday. I'm Erin Hunter. Thanks for hanging out with us this morning. We've got a great show lined up for you as always. But first, I want to get to a programming note that we have. Last Friday, our country lost several servicemen during an attack at an air base in Jordan. And one of them was 19-year-old U.S. Army Private Isabella Gonzalez. She's a Carrollton native, and Hebron High School graduate who is now a national hero. And her dignified transfer is actually scheduled for this morning. And so you can watch our news coverage right now on WFA+. Her family and friends, they are certainly in our thoughts and prayers this morning here at GMT and at WFAA. And so make sure to check that out as well, as she is a Texas native indeed. All right, let's move on and let's pop over to the Weather Center, see what's going on outside. It's going to be a hot one today indeed. Greg, good morning.
Yeah, good morning to you, Erin. Good morning, everyone. Yes, a very hot. Didn't cool off a whole lot overnight in and around the Metroplex. Those temperatures still in the mid-80s early this morning, already back into the lower 90s now, as those temperatures will continue to heat up as we go through the day. Look at DFW Airport here at 9 a.m. It's 92 degrees already, so it is hot, feeling like it's 99 out there. So yes, it is going to be another seriously hot day across North Texas, so please do take it easy out there. So that's DFW. Let's bring you back over to Love Field, already warming up there, back up to 95 already. Look at that heat index, 104. And this is 9 o'clock in the morning. So yes, it is very warm inside the Metroplex. Outside of that, the big cities, it has cooled off some, but still warming back up. 88 heading back out to Decatur. Those mid and upper 80s as you get up to Gainesville and Sherman here this morning. Already back up to 90 degrees, heading over to Terrell and Canton. So yes, a very hot afternoon in store across our area. We do remain with those heat alerts over all of North Texas. Most of us under that extreme heat warning, where we could see that heat index 115, maybe 115 plus in some areas. Outside of that, we're looking at the heat advisory up to 108 with that heat index here for today. So the temperatures today, again, likely not setting any records. We don't think anyway, but it's already hot out there. That record high 109. So we'll see how close we get to that. But around 104 to 105, Fort Worth over to Dallas later today, 103, 104, heading out to McKinney and Denton. Factor in that humidity, though, as we just talked about. Look at the forecast heat index for this afternoon, 115 to 116. Dallas over to Fort Worth later today. Now, we will see a slight dip in those temperatures for the latter half of the week, but still looking at more triple digits coming our way. So we'll talk more about that a little bit later in the show. Now, Erin, back to you.
All right. Thanks so much, Greg, for keeping us up to date. You guys, my favorite part of the morning is coming a lot sooner today. If you ain't got the tea, then you must not be watching me. So let's spill some GMT this morning. Movie studio 824 has been cooking up some real magic recently, and they are continuing to do so with an Anthony Bourdain biopic currently in the works, you guys. Tony stars Dominic Sessa as a young version of the prolific chef, food writer, and globetrotter who died back in June 2018, which was so devastating for all the foodies out there. And while Bourdain was the subject of the 2021 documentary Roadrunner, a film about Anthony Bourdain, his estate has actually approved of this upcoming film. Take a look at that.
Let me teach you this. This is how you open an oyster.
I ate these in France when I was a kid. I said they taste like the future.
The family said in a statement to The Hollywood Reporter that the film depicts one transformative summer in 1975 in Provincetown, Massachusetts, when he was just 19 years old, like I said. And it is an interpretation as they put together this part of Tony's life rather than trying to sum up his entire life into an hour and 30-minute movie. And I think that's why the family wanted to go in this direction. They didn't want to tell his full story, but maybe focus on one part of his life that changed the trajectory of where he was going. And the future foodie finds himself working in a rowdy restaurant kitchen, setting off a summer, like I said, that will shape the course of his life. Now, the film was actually shot in Cape Cod, and the cast alongside Dominic Sessa, is Amelia Jones, Leo Woodall, Rich Sommer, and Antonio Banderas, which, you guys, I loved him from Spy Kids, so to see him like as an adult actually having range in space, which I know he's a fabulous actor, but to actually see him act as an adult is so incredibly exciting. And so Tony is set to be released in theaters August 21st. As I always say, mark your calendars. I feel like I now need to go binge, though, No Reservations with Anthony Bourdain. That show and Bizarre Foods with Andrew Zimmerman were top tier. They had me and my mother in a chokehold told throughout my entire childhood. They truly are culinary legends, and the hurdles that chefs and food critics face and have to go through in their actual industry is not for the weak. So I can't wait to see what the potential start of Anthony Bourdain's story was and his love for sharing the actual food. And so mark your calendars, like I said, for that August 21st. Let's switch gears to some sadder news, though. This is for the OG Housewives fans out there. If you remember Gina Keogh from The Real Housewives of Orange County, first you know her as the woman who got into it with Tamara Judge. They used to get down back in the day, but her daughter is now detailing a difficult journey she's currently going through, unfortunately. The Real Housewives of Orange County alum was diagnosed with squamous cell carcinoma of the tongue, and her daughter, Kara Bosworth, shared that after noticing intense pain in her mouth, in her mother's mouth. Now, after the reality TV star who appeared on the Bravo show from 2006 to 2010 visited her daughter in Florida a few months back, and that's when she started sharing about the tooth and how it was bothering her. And then she even went to the dentist multiple times to actually get that tooth filed down. Why the dentist didn't tell her that this could be more than just her tooth was astonishing and not okay, and that needs to be dived into a little bit more. But it wasn't until Keogh dug deeper into her symptoms that she was actually given a real diagnosis. And by the time she had shared all of this information with her daughter and made an appointment, it had been nearly a year since the original sore had appeared on her tongue. So that's when the biopsy came in and confirmed their worst fears, unfortunately. The family was hoping Keogh would make a speedy recovery following that first surgery to remove the cancer, but they learned that a much longer road was actually laying ahead after they noticed, after a second surgery to remove her lymph nodes, that the cancer had then spread throughout her body and turned into a full-blown cancer battle. And that is incredibly devastating, not only for herself and her mental health, but for her family as well. And so I say keep Gina in your prayers, because she also added yesterday on Instagram that she is now in her 5th week of chemotherapy, radiation, and immunotherapy, but the treatments are relentless. Of course, she is exhausted. She's struggling to stay awake and becoming severely malnourished because the pain in her tongue and her throat makes swallowing even the smallest bites or sips incredibly difficult. A blood clot and infection delayed her feeding tube surgery as well. So she really is going through it. It is an uphill battle. And that is our lesson of the day, to be grateful for the abilities that we take for granted every single day. Something as small as swallowing the coffee or the tea that you're drinking right now. It's a blessing to be able to do so. Remember that as we navigate our day and tough challenges come up. And that is your tea of the day. Very positive indeed.
After years of war, no one could stand between my men and home. Not even me.
Did you stretch? You a big stretcher? It's so good for you. You ready?
We are so ready, you guys. Those trailers make me so excited. With The Odyssey already setting box office records and Spider-Man, A Brand New Day coming to theaters next week. The summer blockbuster season is hot in air-conditioned comfort, of course, but you gotta have drinks and eats too. So we've got Mike Dingus with Studio Movie Grill in studio with us this morning to talk all the goods. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Those trailers, it's so exciting in the movie business right now, because I think the movie we were all most excited for has been The Odyssey, yes, especially for film lovers. Everybody knows Christopher Nolan's that super ultimate best director in the world, and it lived up to all the hype. And it's just, have you seen it yet?
I have not seen it yet.
You've got to see it.
I'm so excited, but you're the movie guy, so I know you have.
It's of course I've seen it in premium format. I've seen it in regular format, and what I'll say is every theater's putting it in its biggest screens, Studio Movie Grill included. And you have to see it before it's out of theaters, period, because we're 3 months away from it only being available on your TV or your phone.
That's so true.
This is definitely a theater experience movie for sure.
We're bringing back the movie theater culture, right? So the fun part about movie theaters is all of the specialty drinks and food that you get to experience while you're there. And you guys come up with unique drinks every movie that comes out, it seems like.
That is our
right?
goal. Our goal is always to tie the vibe of the film, especially the film that everyone cares about, out into something with our food, our drinks. With the Odyssey, it really was about the length of the film. So what we decided to do is we did a $7 dessert promotion. So all of our desserts are discounted to $7, and we did that all the way through, extended through Spider-Man in August, but it's a 2-month-long special that kicked off with Odyssey being an almost 3-hour movie, and we knew our guests would have time to have that full 3-course experience.
There you go.
Yeah, full 3-course experience.
It really is an experience after all, between the length, the actual movie itself, and then the goods you get to dive into. So let's make a few things this morning, shall we?
Sweet.
What are we getting started with?
Well, we have 2 things. We're gonna, like what you're looking at is our Paloma, our Pain Chiller. Those are awesome drinks. Our Hurricane and Studio Blue, some of our staples at SMG.
I'm assuming this is for Spider-Man, this is for the Odyssey.
Those are all for any movie that you would like to have them with.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay, so free choice. I love it.
And for what we're gonna make today is an espresso martinez. So we all know what espresso martini is, that traditional espresso and vodka mix. Espresso martinez is that with tequila.
You're talking my language.
I'm here
I
for
like
you.
it. Okay, where do we start? Where do we go?
I've already got the espresso mix in there, so all that you have to add is we're gonna do 1 ounce of Contera Negra Silver.
Okay.
And 1 ounce of, I didn't bring my.
That's okay, you know why?
You're gonna do an at-home pour of 1 ounce, and it goes in this one
pour
first.
on this morning show this morning.
Look at
Listen,
that.
I don't know how much is enough.
We'll go with that's about 6
Just a
ounces.
little bit more. We're about to have a good time.
We're about to overfill that martini glass for sure.
Okay, here we go.
We'll do
a
that,
little bit
and
of
then
that.
I'll do 1 ounce of that one maybe.
Here we go. Just
There
a
you
dollop.
go, just a dollop.
It's kind of like a mimosa. Like you just need the liquor and just a splash or whatever the juice
It's
is.
just that Contera Negra coffee liqueur. We'll do this a little swirl in here, get that going, let it froth up a little bit.
Ooh,
And then you can just, you don't have to strain it because there's no
Strainer
ice in
over.
there, but you can just pour that one into the little martini glass right
Oh my
there.
gosh, I feel so legit right now. Okay, here we go, you guys.
Here's legit as it gets.
Fabulous. Oh my God, I can smell the tequila. Mmm.
Yeah, you can smell the tequila. You put like 4 shots in there.
Yeah, I know. But listen, breakfast of champions.
And then 3 espresso beans, throw it on there.
Gotta give a little
Maybe
garnish.
6 or 7 to balance out that tequila.
Yeah,
But
okay.
We'll do 3.
Maybe a couple more.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Very,
And then
very
the other
good.
drink that we're gonna make, what I have in here so far is some fresh lime juice and agave. You're about to add the tequila and the Grand Marnier.
Okay.
So Grand Marnier, pull it over, count to 3.
1, 2, 3.
And then we're gonna do the
Yeah.
Contera Negra. And there, Anejo. I mean, I thought I forgot it for a second.
No, you can't never
and
forget
now, let's do an Erin pour.
tequila. Yeah, listen. Ooh.
Beautiful.
Delicious.
Well done. Well done.
All
And
right,
then
a
do
little
it-
shakesy.
And then on this one,
Goes
we're
on.
gonna pour it straight in because we don't have it iced yet.
There we go.
And that is our Cadillac Margarita. That's made with Contera Negra Anejo, Grand Marnier, fresh lime juice, and fresh agave.
You guys, this looks so good. It smells so good. I'm tasting this one. This is so good. While I do
Well
that,
done.
let's dive into the food because you mentioned discounted desserts.
That's
what do you
right.
got on the menu?
We have our New York style cheesecake, awesome fluffy cheesecake, thick graham cracker crust, our house baked cookies, our house made brownie
good.
sundae, and our Bavarian cream stuffed cinnamon churros with Bluebell vanilla ice cream. If we do ice cream, we do Bluebell.
You have to.
We
It's
know
the
how to do-
Texas way, right?
We know how to do ice cream right. Yes.
There you go. Okay, so I hear you actually have something special going on in the lobby for Spider-Man Brand New Day. Tell me more about that.
We're doing a cool activation to where all of our locations are giving out Spider-Man Legos at each
Cool.
location. Then I haven't seen the big, massive prize Lego that we're giving out to one grand prize winner, but I look forward to seeing that. So we're going to give out Spider-Man Legos at all locations, and then each winner is going to be registered to win a super awesome, yet-to-be-seen Spider-Man Lego.
I love this. This is so good. And then you guys, screenings for guests with disabilities or sensory sensitivities are available as well.
You guys, thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, and we're coming off of the best month we've ever had with that. So at SMG, we do special needs screenings to where every family film of significance that comes out, Spider-Man will be the next one, but we did Toy Story, Minions, Moana. The weekend after, you come out, lights are turned up a little bit, sound turned down. It's free for any family that has any family member, adult or child with special needs. And we did over 16,000 guests between Toy Story, Moana, and Minions over this last month, which is just awesome for us.
Yes, indeed, and awesome for our community
It
as
is
well.
very cool.
All right, Mr. Dingus, thank you so much for being here this morning and
Cheers.
for making me a fabulous espresso martini. There's no other way to go out except to taste.
Yeah, you're doing a shot.
All right, well, a sweet or salty snack usually pairs well with a cool drink. And speaking of drinks, we just talked drinks. Make sure you drink responsibly, okay? We've all tried to ditch a bad snacking habit by reaching for something that sounds healthier. Little do we know that sometimes those swaps are actually keeping the snacking cycle going. You guys, registered dietitian Hannah Ibuagu says gateway snacking may be the issue, you guys. There's so much more than just gateway drugs. There's gateway snacking.
Exactly. It's crazy. Welcome to the new way of 2026.
It's just reality, okay? Things are hard to let go of.
Yes.
She joins me to explain that and how to make smart choices. Indeed, hello to you, Hannah.
Hi.
I'm so glad to have you.
I'm glad to be here as always.
Okay, so let's talk about it. Gateway snacking. It's a new term for
Correct.
many people. I just relate it to other things. But what exactly is it?
Honestly, people right now, the market is saying like protein ice cream, protein popcorn, protein water, all these different things. And in reality, they're ultra processed and they're actually not as good for you as what we could do if we just had some normal food that are higher in fiber, higher in protein naturally without having all these extra ultra processed things. Sometimes keto, organic, low, whatever, doesn't always mean better.
I was about to say, because I've done keto and yeah.
Aaron, we already talked about that.
Yeah.
I did not love when you did keto. We had to have an off-camera conversation, guys. We had to have an off-camera conversation. But it's truly that people are just use it as marketing because some things are naturally quote unquote keto, but people just throw it on there to act like it's just way better for you when in reality you're just eating the regular food that it was before. It's just a marketing scam.
So we actually haven't changed anything as far as what we're putting into our bodies. It's just the mental, it's like a placebo.
Correct. And I always tell people if you can't explain keto in your own words, we shouldn't be doing it. So let's get to just the natural step. So, Erin, I know you well enough to know that I can't take all your salty and sweet treats away from you. And truly, snacking isn't bad for you. It's actually helpful for your metabolism in a lot of different ways, especially if you're female, a child, training for something. Everybody's training for a marathon right now or a high rocks. What you name it. So snacking needs to be a part of your fueling protocol. So how do we do it and how do we do it well? Well, there's this big three. We're looking for fiber, we're looking for protein, and we're looking for less added sugar.
Okay.
So let's go
We
to
can do that. I was about to say, come on down here. Let's get into it.
So chocolate. Typically, everybody's like, I have the biggest sweet tooth. I need my chocolate. Well, what I did here was just did a version of chocolate-covered strawberries. And so I know you like them. So it's just Greek yogurt with cocoa powder or even some cocoa pudding. And so it's just nice because a lot of people are dippers. And so when you're talking about snacking, people, once they start thinking about dipping, they're like, I can't have a ton. And it's hard to be like, I'm always about more is better. And so if you're like, oh, I can only have 3 of those and it's actually good, then it's like, why even do it? But that tastes like a chocolate covered strawberry. You're getting protein in, you're getting your fiber in because you have fruit, but you can continue to eat it because it also hits your dairy requirements for the day, which a lot of Americans are lacking in.
Yeah, we do not hit, but the milk I avoid at all costs. Can I just say, that genuinely tastes like a chocolate covered strawberry. You just mixed cocoa powder in, right?
With plain Greek yogurt.
And it's just that healthy.
And it's cheap, and you don't have to, like, cocoa powder stays well in your pantry for long periods of time.
You know what? I'm not joking, you guys. That really is tasty because I'm not even a yogurt person, to be very honest. All right, let's move on to my absolute weakness.
Same girl. Salty.
And everybody else's weakness, chips.
I love a chip. Here's the thing with chip. It always says on the back of the label, like, oh, 7 chips. Okay, no one is eating 7 chips.
That's just not possible.
Call a spade. No one's doing that. But you can have 3 full cups of popcorn for the equivalent of 7 chips.
Gosh.
Calorie-wise, but popcorn has fiber. Americans are really, really deficient in fiber requirements, which helps with our gut health. We're always talking about gut health. The other thing that I have here is roasted chickpeas. This is super easy because it's a canned food. You just throw it on a pan and you can season the way that you want. So
I've actually never had these.
If you're a chip person that's like, I really love salt and vinegar, you can make salt and vinegar. If you're like, I love a Cajun style, great. If you love a ranch style, great. You can season them exactly how you want to, and they're crunchy. You can eat them in high quantities. It's cheap. Easy to make. Throw it in the oven for about 10 minutes. The other way that I love to do it is just a sweet potato. You slice a sweet potato, throw it in the air fryer, season with whatever you want. That's your new chip.
Can I just say Hannah is giving you all the tips right now, literally a full menu, and so you better be writing this down. Let's get the cookies over here because these look delicious.
So everybody loves a cookie. Again, I know my people with sweet tooths want, and who is just eating one cookie out of the cookie jar? Nobody.
No.
So what we did here was we did a version of oat protein balls. Super easy. What I love about them is you can do them in different varieties. So this is a chocolate chip cookie, chocolate chip just as well as the chocolate chip cookie. So all it has is oats, peanut butter, a little bit of honey or agave, whatever you like to use as your binder, and then you can put M&Ms as your chocolate. You can put chocolate chips as your chocolate, whatever suits you best.
I love it. So we're still getting the chocolate chips, you guys, okay?
Correct.
She's not taking away
Correct.
everything.
You don't have to.
Let's come over here because I see
gosh,
ice
yes.
cream galore, and I think we all love a sweet.
As Texans, we love our Bluebell.
Yeah.
I know. And we even just saw our segment before this had Bluebell ice cream too. So I get it. Everybody loves ice cream. It's hot as heck. But what you can do is go to a Yasso or something that has a Greek yogurt background. You can make that as your own. Also, what's really big is protein ice cream right now. This is the one where it's a little bit easier because dairy is a natural protein, like rich food. And so you can do, all you need is some milk, some frozen bananas, or even other frozen fruit. You can make your own sorbet and you can top it with your cookie dough or things of that nature.
These are all really easy ways to actually get the healthy eating going.
Correct, without doing all these keto, organic, different brand things that don't necessarily
without all the labels.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Okay, so tell me, because obviously when we go to the store, it can be very confusing. Hopefully you guys were able to write some of this down, but if they want to know more, where can they go to find you, girl?
On Instagram at Free Agent Nutrition or at equippedwellness.com.
Snacking does not have to be bad, you guys. Matter of fact, I'm going to have me another chickpea indeed. Thanks so much for being here.
Of course.
Coming up on GMT, tomatoes aren't just for the backyard garden anymore. We're showing you how this summer's hottest decor trend is inspiring fun and easy crafts. And after kids head to college, many parents asked what to do next. A little later, the Loud Quiet podcasters break down how to navigate empty nest living. You don't want to miss that, as it's coming up pretty quickly. We'll be right back. Tomatoes aren't just popping up at the farmer's market or in your backyard garden. Summer's sweetest trend is ripe for crafting as well. And we've got crafting diva, Christy Robbins. She is here with tomato-inspired crafts with vintage charm indeed. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So glad to have you here. She always brings the best ideas, you guys. And the kiddos still have a little summer left, so this would be really exciting to do. Let's get into it. The tomato pin cushions, the vintage classic.
Yes, yes.
Tell me more.
It's not really a craft, but it's something that you can do to honor crafters. So I started collecting these years ago, and if I see them in antique stores, things like that, but also my friends that are not really into crafting have given them to me from their dads, their moms, their grandmothers, and so I collect them here, and it just kind of represents all these crafters, and the more pins in them, the better for me.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, and I just love to display them in an old jar.
I love that, just because I feel like everyone can connect to that. It's so relatable. Everybody's grandma had a tomato pin cushion for sure.
Yes.
Let's get into some tomato crafts today, shall we?
All right, so the first thing we're gonna make is this little garland right here. Super easy. You have these little half buttons you can get at any unfinished section of a craft store, or a big box store, or even online. And you're just gonna draw a zigzag with a pencil, about halfway, a little bit above, it doesn't matter.
I haven't drawn anything in,
I
don't know,
little zigzag, little lightning strike there. All right.
There we go.
All right.
Okay.
So, all right, so you have your zigzag, it looks great. So then you're gonna start painting it. So the top part, whatever you just decide is the top, you're gonna paint green, like this one.
Gotta get the plant part in there, right?
That's right.
Okay, here, oh Lord, I done went out the lines already.
It's all right, because then you're gonna paint over it with that red, so you can straighten it out.
Oh, it makes it a bit easier, yes.
So then you have this one right here, that I've got the green already painted, and then you just go and you start painting the red until you have
a finished product.
We have 2 halves of a tomato.
I was about to say, yeah, because my painting skills ain't going very well, so I'm so glad you brought a finished product. Okay, so this is what it's supposed to look like, y'all.
Yes. All right, so then you're gonna take some Rick Rack here. You can get, again, any craft store has this. And you're just gonna, if you wanna put the half down. And I'll put a little dab of glue, and if you will take the Rick Rack, normally you'd have a larger piece than that, but I'm just,
just
showing.
The
whole garland, yes.
Yeah.
So you're gonna do the little half down.
Okay.
Then I'll put another little dab of glue.
And
you're gonna put the second half on top, just kind of making sure you're matching the 2 greens.
Yes, okay,
right?
yes.
So then it's gonna dangle, and you're gonna build your garland like that.
Oh my gosh, she's a full tomato.
It's a full tomato.
You guys look.
And you can do this with anything. You can make pumpkins. You can make a snowman. So once you have the concept down, You can create any garland you want and
gosh.
hang it out for the season.
I love that. And you guys, that's the finished product. I'm sure she showed you over there. But still, that is so exciting. And it would be so easy to do.
Yeah, just a few
for
products
Halloween.
too. Yes.
Okay, let's move over here. What do we got going?
Okay, so then we're gonna make a market bag, all right? So we're gonna make some tomatoes, we're gonna paint them, and so you don't have to have anything special. Again, you wanna take this, this is gonna be your stencil. I mean, I have plenty of Diet Coke cans hanging around.
Yeah, I was about to say, all of your products are definitely home accessible for sure.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's gonna be your little stamp. So you can do that, and then you're just gonna stamp it down so you know about the shape of a circle
of
before
a tomato.
You start painting. Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Stamp it anywhere. There you go. All right, so then you're gonna take the paint and you're gonna paint inside that circle.
Fill her in.
Yes, so that just gives you an idea of, I know some people are more perfectionist than the other.
I was about to say, are there any life-saving measures for this? Because I go out and went out the lines again.
You just make it a little bit wider. And then here is just, if you wanted to, the textile paint, if you add that with your paint, it creates it so that it's a washable bag now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so,
very good.
Yes.
Okay,
right,
and then if we want to dress her up, because we got to get the plant portion in there, right?
So you can either do a green, it's okay, we'll just keep working on it, but I mean, it gives it that vintage look, right? So you can do a green, or I took some felt right here, and I just cut out a wonky star. And so once you cut that out, you just place it on top. You can glue it down, and we probably do a little bit smaller one for that tomato, but you can either glue it down or you can sew it down. And then you have your little tomatoes, and you can label your bag if you want, and take that to the market, pick up your fresh tomatoes at the...
That's my tomato, guys. Yeah. She's small but mighty. Look, I love it. I'm sorry. All right. Okay. Tell me, because these are really great craft ideas, but like I just mentioned at the beginning, summer is not over just yet. So if you have more craft ideas beyond just tomatoes, where can people go to find you?
So you can go to my blog at christyrobbins.blogspot.com.
There you go. It's just that easy. I told you she always brings great things indeed. All right, you guys, if you have a backyard garden, your tomatoes are probably going to be sweating today because it is HOT, right, Greg?
Yeah, seriously hot again today. Dangerously so, with those triple-digit heat temperatures continuing as we go through the rest of this week. So we'll talk one more time about it when GMT continues after this.
Live, this is Good Morning Texas.
We have officially reached the part of the summer where you go outside and it just feels like you walked into a sauna. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you're in the shade. It doesn't matter.
That's right.
It is hot.
Yeah, you can run, but you won't be able to hide.
You will not be able to hide.
From the heat today. Anywhere you go across the area today, we are talking about some dangerously hot temperatures, even out on the area lakes where you might be trying to cool off along Lake Ray Hubbard there, heading out to Rockwall, the Trend Tower camera there. Already feeling like it's 99, actual temperature 90 degrees there right now. So it's only 9:30 in the morning, and we're talking about temperatures already getting back into the lower 90s here. 92 at our studios here. Look at that heat index already at 101. So yes, a very, very warm morning, and it will be quite hot as we head into this afternoon. Look at that heat index. By early afternoon, we're going to be up around 110, maybe as early as noon with that feels like temperature. And the daytime highs is somewhere around 104 with that heat index around 105 later today. And even as we head on into this evening, it won't be until probably sometime after 8 p.m. when those temperatures start to cool off a little bit, but still maybe in the low 90s as we head toward 10 o'clock here for tonight. So yes, it will be quite warm. Now, nothing to get real excited about, but there may be a handful of folks who see an isolated shower storm late today. You see heading out to the southwestern portions of the Metroplex on down into central Texas. Very low coverage, and this may be a brief cool down for some, but only a very few as we go through the day. So coverage well under 20%, I think, later today. Just something to keep in mind. At least we'll have some northeast winds for today and maybe a brief cool down for a few people later today. But otherwise, temperatures will take a little bit of a dip on Thursday, only around 100. But look at that heat index. It stays up around 109 to 110 through the weekend. Those temperatures start to climb once again. And as we take a look at the extended forecast for you over the next 14 days, we'll round out the month of July, heading on into August. We have more triple-digit heat coming our way with those highs up around 104 to 105 by the middle of next week, and more heat on the way as we begin the month of August. All right, Erin, back over to you.
Oh, boy, look at those triple digits indeed. All All right, well, you see triple digits, you know back to school shopping is on the list indeed, and it's one of the biggest shopping seasons of the year, but it's so much more than just notebooks and backpacks, although you do have to get that stuff. So Kaylee Essery from Belk is here with the latest trends on the school playground all the way to those college campuses. Good morning to you, my girl.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me today. I'm so excited to share some of the things that we have here at Belk for back to school.
Okay, so let's talk about it. I mean, what trends are we seeing right now? What is the go-to for back to school?
So parents are looking for comfort and versatility. Yes. So we're talking what they can wear to school and then in other outside events, just besides school. So multi-function and also fashion, right? Kids are going back to school and they want to look great.
Yes, indeed. I remember first day of school, you used to lay out your outfit and then sleep right next to it so you knew it wasn't going anywhere and that it was all pleated and ready to go. Let's talk about some trends that we actually have out on the table right now. Denim is a huge thing for families and it's a go-to. And like you said, it's durable.
Yeah, you have to have a good denim staple. And this year, trends are staying with the wide leg denim, straight, barreled. We have some great examples here. Embellished for the little girls. Dark denim is big. And then we have some great pull-on denim. Those are cotton material.
I was about to say, these look like jeggings.
Yes. So they're going to be an all-day comfort wear. So not only are they be cute, but they're going to be comfortable as well.
I love it. And as you guys can see, the Canadian tuxedo is not out of the picture. It is still very much trending, which I love. So good. All right, let's move on to sneakers. They're a must when it comes to school. What is hot this season?
Okay, so we got lots of great variety of sneakers. So some of our favorites are from Nike and Adidas. And then also retro classic looks are all key.
These are so fire. These are
aren't those so cute?
When I say put these on your kids' list, they must be on your kids' list indeed. Okay, what about for the students heading off to college? Because that is a really big shopping haul that you're gonna have to make.
Absolutely, and it's all about the basics, right? So we're talking bedding, sheets, towels, and then we have some fun items that can go for if they're off campus, right? So just some fun things to make them feel like they are at home.
And you know what? Honestly, these would be great in the dorm rooms as well because they're like mini versions of waffle makers and egg makers or, you know, egg cookers.
Yeah, egg cookers.
You know what they're called. But I hear Belk has a new exciting partner actually here in the Dallas area. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so we are so excited to be partnering with the Dallas Wings. On August 7th at their game, we are going to be donating up to $10,000.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, for local schools.
Very good. Okay, so if shoppers out there only remember one thing today from this segment, what do you think it should be?
Okay, so you got to have comfort. Yep. And then you got to have fashion, right? You need some basic pieces that you can incorporate to the wardrobe you already have.
And can I just say, I know we didn't discuss the boots, but the boots are so fire, you guys. They're the festival boots that everybody's been wearing to Coachella and everywhere this year. But they're so perfect for the fall as well.
Yes, a great statement piece for those that are wanting to look extra fashionable.
Come on, okay? When you look good, you feel good, even at school. And that's how you get good grades. Tell your parents that, kids, and they will buy the entire closet. Kaylee, thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you so much.
All right, and you guys at home, be sure to check out all the back to school styles at your local Belk store or online at belk.com. It's hard to believe that we're just weeks away from the start of school, as we were just talking about. Tomorrow, find out how to plan your kids' after-school activities right now. And sports fans have shifted their focus from soccer to golf. We get a preview of the 2027 PGA Championship at PGA Frisco. That's all coming up tomorrow. You don't want to miss that, but don't go anywhere today. So much more GMT coming your way. If you've ever carried two phones just to keep work and your personal life separate, you know how inconvenient it can be. But Spectrum Mobile is making it easier with a new feature that lets you ditch the extra device for good, you guys. Today, Craig Savale from Spectrum is here to explain just how it works. Good morning and hello to you, Craig. All right, so let's get into it. What is Spectrum Mobile, the second line, and who is it exactly designed for?
Yeah, I mean, think of it as two lines on one phone. As you said, we all love carrying around two phones whenever you go anywhere, right? So this is really about making it easy, about combining those two phone lines on one mobile device, making it simple and keeping it organized.
There you go. Okay, so do you need like some sort of special phone? Is it an app? How do you work it?
Yeah, no, you don't need anything special like that. Most phones, especially ones in the most recent years, it's already got the technology inside.
Nice.
Like a dual SIM card. So all you have to do is set that up. And so you could either do that, say, when you're maybe buying the phone at the store, they could set it up right there with you. You could do it yourself over the phone, like with a customer service agent, or you could actually do it yourself at home. So, you know, depending on how technically advanced you are with those, tech savvy you are. So you could actually do it. It's not that hard. But once that's set up, then it's actually really easy. You're just basically toggling between a work phone and a personal device.
So tell me, what are the benefits of having that second phone number, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many benefits to it. I mean, it's just, we all want to be able to separate, the work life and personal life.
Yes.
There's a lot of jobs these days that, where a work phone is still required. I mean, I had a job where I had a work phone and I was on call a lot. And, if I went to the grocery store for 10 minutes, I had to juggle two devices with me and be able to do that. But, maybe it's, a reporter here at the station, a photographer here at the station that has a work phone, or maybe it's a small business owner, or maybe somebody that doesn't want to really hand out their personal number to somebody, but they don't want to have two phones. They want to juggle it on that one device. So you can do all of that. So it's really somebody that wants that functionality and simplicity at the same time.
This makes things so much easier, like you said, and organized as well. I think that's the main thing for sure for a lot of people, is just keeping their work and personal life separate, but also being able to have everything that they need right at the palm of their hand. And so do you think it is difficult in any way, this process at all, as far as getting it started? I know you said if you're technically savvy, you can kind of make it happen for yourself or ask for help, but just as far as that first week, having it on your phone, kind of getting used to it.
No, and I get that. And it just, I've seen it, and it's actually really simple because, during that setup process, you're setting it up, but you're actually really labeling and identifying everything. So, if you're not good at remembering phone numbers, like I can't remember which one is which, you're labeling this. So this is like Erin's work phone, this is Erin's party line. So it's like you have your two separate ones that you know what they are, and so before you text, before you call, you know exactly where you're texting and calling from which line.
This is perfect. Can I ask, though, I feel like you kind of explained it just then, but tell me why this makes so much sense for customers right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, because, we have busy lives. We have a lot of things going on in our lives. And, and again, people want to be able to have that kind of functionality, and they want it simple. At the end of the day, we're trying to, help things be simple for folks. With our program, we have a nationwide 5G network, and we have millions of Wi-Fi access points across the country to make connectivity seamless. And so you have little amenities like this that really help keep people organized and keep it simple.
I think you just sold everybody on the 5G part as well, because listen, if you're going to do work and personal on the same phone, you got to have some good speed to go along with it. Craig, thank you so much for being here this morning. This really does sound like a life-changing smart solution. So if you are interested, more information is available at the website on your screen down below. Just write that down or put it into your web browser to check out all the information. At the end of August, many parents will start to feel like something's missing. Tracking down the real cause of their grief will lead to just one answer, you guys: the fact that they miss their kids. The Loud Quiet podcasters Clancy and Rick Denton both say that there are things to do to make you feel better, and they're here to share what they did after their nest became empty. Welcome back to you guys.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm so glad to have you guys here, because that grief that we were talking about really is real. You guys have been through it twice, and so before your daughter left for college, you asked Rick one question: am I gonna like us after we send her off? And that's a real question. It's reality, and I think most people are honestly scared of the answer. Were you scared of the answer?
I don't know that I was really expecting an answer. I love this man, okay? I think it was just, we had a kid in our house for 21 years. Yeah. And it was going back to just going to be the two of us. That was unknown territory. And I think there are a lot of parents out there that are probably thinking that same thing right now.
Yes, indeed. Can I ask you, because she asked you the question, but were you kind of feeling those same feelings? Were you thinking the same thing?
I don't know that I was actually able to express it as directly as she expressed it. It was almost that her question unlocked that concern, that reality that we need to actually deal with this. I think that at that period of time, it's the senior year, everything is so busy, you're just almost overwhelmed with all the activity, that there was a real risk of suddenly falling off that cliff of the kid is gone.
Right.
And then you are truly empty nesters. So her question, while it absolutely freaked me out, because she said, what if I don't like us when we leave? But actually what I heard was, what if I don't like you when she leaves? And it allowed us to then have that space to have that real conversation of what does this actually mean to be in the empty nest together when there aren't kids that are really driving what your life is going to be like.
So let me ask you this, because you just touched on how busy those months leading up to actual college drop-off are as far as preparation. So did you guys really have any time to prepare yourselves for what was coming as far as the empty nest?
Well, I think preparing for the empty nest really does start when your kids are still in the nest. You have to start when those kids are young. We were very intentional about doing date nights. Even when we couldn't afford a babysitter, we would throw a frozen pizza in the oven and watch Friends on our VHS tape that was recorded. Yes, that shows how old we are. But you just have to start pouring into your relationship when they are still in the nest, because then you will find ways to get through that first part of being the empty nesters.
Make the date nights happen. Make it a priority. I hear that from couples all the time, but actually enacting it is two different things. So I'm so glad that you were able to say, listen, we put a frozen pizza in the oven, the kids went to bed early, and we drank wine and we watched some Friends. That's the way to go about it. But couples spend years centering their lives around their kids, and so that adjustment is hard. And so how were you able to then focus on your relationship after they were gone?
A lot of it is choice. Like, it is truly choosing that this is going to be the person that I am going to focus on. It is making sure that while I'm sad that the kids are gone, it's not living in that sadness. It is truly understanding this is what our life is now, and this is the person that I'm going to be spending the rest of my life with. And what does that look like now after those 20, and in many cases with families, 30 or even many more years that there weren't kids in the picture? It's a choice to almost reconnect with what was it like back at the beginning when the kids weren't around.
When you first started dating. No one talks about that life adjustment. Everybody talks about, for the child, how big of a life change it will be to go off and start being an adult and all the things, but no one genuinely talks about the hardship that parents go through as far as finding themselves and then finding themselves in their relationship again. And you guys actually didn't go straight home after you dropped your daughter off. Tell us what you did. You had a little weekend together.
When we got back from dropping her off, I told Rick, I said, I just don't want to be in the house that first weekend. You know, we had our jobs, so we were busy that week, but I said, I can't be here. We're not doing Friday Night Lights. We're not having the activities the next day with her. And so we just went to Fort Worth. You know, we were like, let's just go. We didn't have time to plan some big trips, so we just spent the weekend over there, and it was great. It just got us away from the house and just let us be us as a couple and just have a great time that weekend.
It was a little staycation and gave you a little buffer before you had to go back into reality, right? Okay, so let's talk about the fact that you say there are 3 things couples can do that first month, which is so critical. You say start saying yes.
Well, that example right there is a great example of say yes. Clancy said, I don't want to be in the house, so the answer is yes, we're going to leave the house. We didn't really know exactly what we were going to do when we went over to Fort Worth. But we wandered the city, we enjoyed the museums, we found ourselves walking around downtown and thought, oh, well, that's an interesting looking bar, let's turn in there. And it turned out that we were getting into a conversation with a bartender in the bar there, and there was a particular drink that Clancy wanted. They had no idea what it was, so she explained what that drink was. They ended up naming the drink the Clancy going forward.
Stop it right now.
That saying yes, just that first weekend then became a theme that we used throughout the entire year of we are going to choose to say yes to any new idea, any new experience, even to the point that Well, by the end of the year, we felt like we had to rediscover no. But saying yes was a vital part of that first.
I love that. Be a tourist in your own city. There's plenty of things that we have not seen. And you know what? I always say we do not use our free will enough. And going on a little side quest, it really does liven up the day. But what you're avoiding, I'm just realizing, when you didn't want to go home that first weekend, was the loud quiet. Literally what your podcast is. That quietness of nobody being there, nobody stomping on the stairs, nobody playing their music. That's hard.
Yes.
That's hard indeed. Okay, well, the podcast is absolutely incredible. You got a little taste of it here this morning. Tell us how people can listen to you if they're in this journey right now, going through the exact same thing that you guys went through.
Yes, we would love for everyone to listen to our podcast, find our book. They can connect with us at theloudquiet.com.
And it's just that easy. All right, we're keeping all the parents in our thoughts as they prepare to send their kids off. Thank you guys for being here this morning.
Thanks so
for
much.
Wardrobe for our hosts is sponsored by Dillard's at North Park Center.
My favorite type of viewer is the viewer who makes it to the end of the show. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. We had such good conversations, whether you're sending your kid off to college, whether you're thinking, I want to get into the healthy eating. We talked about it all, literally. Clothing, all the things. So if you missed anything from today's show, remember you can always rewatch GMT on your own time on the free to download WFA Plus streaming app for your TV. You can also put it on your smartphone as well, where you can catch entire shows that you may have missed under that news tab. You can also select just the segments from our show to watch on demand under the show tab, and it replays on WFA Plus and our sister station KFAA channel 29, as you can see at 1 p.m. today. And you know what? If you want more Good Morning Texas after that, well, then you go to YouTube and you type in GMT right there, and we have the segments broken out for you there as well. You're going to want to make sure you're here tomorrow for Baby Friday. It's Thursday, and we're talking how to start planning for your kids' after-school activities. School is starting soon, you guys. Let's be prepared for it indeed. I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Have a good morning, Texas. I'll see you later.